ladies, gents, folks, friends, everybody, let's go ahead and this, by the way, I just want to say for previous tutorials we were working over here. You could also import the database into a new Python as such. You can open up a Python 3 and you can import, for example, my first app. That's what we call our app. And you can use with app. You can use app equals. What did we do here? App equals. Okay, so we technically have access to, or we don't have access to, my first app. App. There we go. We could do with my first app app context. And filter things here. So for example, user dot query dot all. Okay, we need to do, since we're working outside of this, we need to do my first app dot user dot query dot all, and that will return an empty string. So just saying, this is another way that you could use Python as by importing it. We've talked about this in the past. That's why the app run if name equals main vice versa is important. If you want to do this, you would have to make sure that you have this. If you're going to do the app run, you have to make sure that you have the if name equals main line in order to make sure that your app doesn't run when you import it automatically. Anyways, closing this, I just wanted to say as a side note, you could work with a database like that if you wanted to. It's commonly done occasionally, actually maybe not commonly done, but it's done when needed by a lot of people. You could also as well just SQLite into the database itself. If you have SQLite 3 installed on your computer, you could, for example, show the tables, and you could select everything from user, for example, and like right now it's not running anything because we don't have any users, because the last tutorial we deleted everything we had, but theoretically speaking, this is how you'd also be able to do things, because you technically do still have a database if you did the SQL Alchemy routes. Okay, let's go ahead and delete all this code, and let's delete all of this code, and let's go ahead and save it as this. Okay, so far what we have, let's review. We have the imports section. We've made our app. We've told SQL Alchemy where the database should be. We've made the SQL Alchemy database instance, and we have defined a user class, and now we're going to make that user class accessible through a route. When we submit a form, we want users to be new users to be made. Okay, it's gonna be very, very fun, this tutorial, so stay tuned for that. Okay, let's go ahead and code it. I'm just gonna code it straight at in. Okay, so let's go to the index really quickly. So basically our index is this page over here. Okay, this one, we're serving using render template, we're serving the index HTML. What I want to add to the index HTML is users. I'm just going to do users equals user query dot all. Okay, and here I'm going to do users equals users. What this is going to do is it's going to have the section that says, let's just do it as I'm just going to open it up like this. We'll do for user in users, and we have covered for loops in previous tutorials, so if you need help with those, feel free to check that out. So make this tab with 4, it's a little bit easier to follow, even 2 maybe, but whatever, we'll see if needed. We're just going to do user.name, and that should be enough for now, honestly. So right now, saving this and refreshing this page will not change anything because we don't have any users. But watch what happens when we do add users. How are we going to add users? Okay, there we will also need a form. So we'll call this register below, for example, and we're going to make a basic post form for registration. We're going to close this form, and let's put a simple input for the username, or for the name rather. You'll say enter name. And the name itself should be name, because that's what it is, the name of the user. This name attribute, we've talked about this in the previous tutorials as well, but this name attribute is going to be what we're going to use in the backend to be able to actually take the value of this, whatever the user enters here. So let's do another text for the email. Actually, this can be type email. And we can do placeholder is enter email. We'll keep it short and simple. And we'll do one more input, which will be a password. It's gonna be called password. Its type is a password, so it will be censored. Enter password. Censored, I don't know if censored is the right word, but basically we won't be able to see the password. So if we put our name as Jack, and we put jack@jack.com. Oh, we didn't put a button. Oh. Okay, let's just do this. Register. Okay, this is going to submit the form. My bad. All right, so there we go. A basic form. Okay, we have jack@jack.com, and 1, 2, 3. Register. Method not allowed. Why? We need to do this. App.route, we need to specify that the methods we're accepting is not just get, but also post. Okay, let's try that one more time. No, we never closed it. We never closed it, man. It's very right. Let's try that one more time. Okay, it did it this time, actually. I did resubmit the form. This way, if you don't use URL4, you're able to use this refresh button to resubmit the form that you previously submitted, and it's constantly resubmitting, and we can see the post requests coming in, but obviously nothing's happening yet because we're not actually adding any users based on what we're inputting. So let's go ahead and do that. If request.method equals post, okay, if the request method is post, we're going to add a new user. We're going to call it new user equals user. And here we need to get, actually before doing this, we need to get the fields. So the name is going to be request.form.get name. And the email is going to be request.form.get email. And the password, for now it's unencrypted. So just saying, never ever do this in a production web application. You always want to use bcrypt or something, Flask security 2 especially, the whole package. But for now, for getting the point across, we're going to save unencrypted passwords to our database using this method. So name is going to equal name, email is going to equal email. Since we're not specifying age, everybody's going to be at the age of 30, or age of 0 rather, because that's the default age. And the password is going to be password. Okay. So basically, we're now retrieving using these .name in the name attribute here, name, email, password. We're picking those up in the backend, those fields up, this one, their values, by doing this request.form. So that's the form. .get. If we wanted, we could also have done this, but if we do that, if we do like this, okay, name, this will return an error if it's not submitted, which could be what we're trying to achieve if we're doing a try except or something. But let's just get it across. This is a working and good method. If nobody enters this name input, it's just going to return none. So name will equal none. But by default, if they put like Jack here, for example, this is how it's going to be in Python. This will end up being Jack like this if they put Jack over here like this. Okay. So let's go ahead and do this, and let's actually print name, email, and password so we see how the user is registering. And let's do the user is registering using, and let's do that. Okay, cool. Now the user is going to be added to the database, so we do database session add new user, and we have to obviously change, we have to save the changes in the database, so we do database session commit. Now we save this, and we should now have a working registration system. Actually, this is actually all it takes. It's not necessarily an amazing one, but it should do the job. So jack@jack.com, and we do password 1, 2, 3. We hit register. Jack is officially registered. Would you look at that? It says the user registering using jack@jack.com, and 1, 2, 3, the password, right? The print statement, that's the print statement that we just did. Nothing else is printed because we're just adding a, we're making a new user object. We're adding that, we're tossing that to the add method of database session. And we're saving the changes using database session commit. And this add automatically just takes care of the SQL for us, same as session commit. we don't have to touch any SQL. Basically, we can register, for example, we can register as well for Bob at bob.com, and the password is this time 1234. And there you go. If we check out our HTML, you can see that for user in users, we're getting user.name. We could also return something else, like user.age, which should be 0 for all of the users. When we refresh the page, they are 0 years old. Okay, cool. And we can also get their email address, so user.email, for example. Unfortunately, we can also get their password. Okay, just do password like this. And right now, you're exposing their password. So this is a bit dangerous. Just watch out for this, you know. You should be careful about the information that you're exposing here, because you're the one that's coding this stuff. So yes, long story short, we've made a basic registration functional, and we're not able to do much more. We're not able to like log in or anything right now, but that's fine. We don't necessarily need that, and we could just limit this to their names for now and pass on to the next tutorial that way, or leave it off here. For the moment being, that's a working registration system. In the future, of course, we will do how to log in as a user, and maybe like restricted pages. So for example, you have to log in order to access that page, or vice versa. So obviously all of these are fun ideas. For me, when I first started coding, these things were, when I first did this stuff, I was like, wow, this is like amazing. So I'm hoping that some of those feelings are being passed on to people who are watching. And yeah, with that, I will end this video here. I wish you an amazing day, and look forward to recording the next one, hopefully. Peace.